Good morning, everyone. Myself Jyoti, a lecturer in Chemical Engineering Department in SJ Government Polytechnic, Bengaluru. So I am doing the sessions on various topics of the Unit 1 of Instrumentation, the Process Control of the fifth semester subject in Diploma in Chemical Engineering. In continuation with the Unit 1, today I am going to speak on the vapor filled thermometers. So the content I'm going to cover in this session are the vapor filled thermometer, the principle of working of the vapor filled thermometer, then the construction and the working of the vapor filled thermometer, and the sum of the temperature range of the various temperature sensors. We will look into So vapor filled thermometer is one of the filled thermometer. So in the previous class we have learnt the liquid filled thermometer, where the construction part is concerned with the liquid filled thermometer. It has got the bulb, the capillary tube, which has been connected to the Bourdon tube, along with the linkage with the pointer, and the pointer moves on to calibrated scale. So it also works on the principle of the expansion, the volumetric expansion of the liquid. As a liquid undergo expansion with a change in the temperature, the same principle is also applied in a liquid filled thermometer. Here also the vapor filled thermometer, the same principle is being applied. It is also one type of the expansion thermometers. So the principle of working of the vapor filled thermometer is, as the liquid vaporizes during the operation, the proportional change is indicated by the temperature scale. So you better understand by looking into the diagram. So as the liquid vaporizes, the change the temperature of the liquid, as the temperature of the liquid changes, the change in temperature causes the liquid to vaporize, which in turn causes the pointer to move onto the calibrated scale that indicates the temperature of that particular liquid, which has to be measured. So that is, it consists of the capillary and the Bourdon tube filled with a vapor, and also the system, the bulb is partially filled with a liquid. So by knowing some basic construction, you will understand the principle of vapor filled thermometer. So the principle is, as a liquid inside the bulb vaporizes during the operation, so the proportional change is as indicated by the temperature scale. So the proportional change in this sense, the vaporization of the liquid is directly proportional to the change in the temperature. So any change in the temperature is being indicated by the proportional change in the vaporization of a liquid. So this is the basic principle of vapor filled thermometer. So what is vapor pressure and what is volatile and non-volatile liquid? So you might have a thorough knowledge of the vapor pressure in your chemistry classes. So vapor is nothing but the change of phase from a liquid to from a liquid to vapor. So beyond the critical temperature, the gas changes into vapor. That is the change of phase. So what is the vapor pressure? So the vapor pressure is nothing but it is a pressure exerted by the vapor at a given temperature on the liquid surface. So the technically it can be defined as the vapor pressure of a liquid at any given temperature is given by the pressure exerted by the saturated vapor on the liquid surface. When the vapor is saturated, an equilibrium is existing between the liquid and the vapor phases. So the number of molecules leaving the liquid surface is equal to the number of molecules entering the liquid surface. So it is nothing but what? The pressure exerted by the vapor at that particular temperature and the pressure when an equilibrium is existing between the liquid and the vapor. So that is nothing but the vapor pressure. So what is volatile? What do you understand by the term the volatile and non-volatile liquid? So what is volatility? So volatility is nothing but it is always refers to the material quality, and it describes how readily a substance vaporizes. So what is volatility? It describes the quality of the material and also how readily that particular material vaporizes. For example, technically speaking, for any substance at a given temperature and pressure, a substance with a high volatility is more likely to exist as a vapor. If, for example, a material is having if it is high volatile in nature, it readily evaporates or it vaporizes readily. So example for such volatile substances could be isopropyl alcohol, acetone, methanol, chloroform. So all these are volatile substances. So what is non-volatile substance or non-volatile liquid? So that doesn't readily vaporizes, we call it as a non-volatile liquid. So non-volatile liquid example could be a mercury or it could be a glycerin. So understanding of volatile and non-volatile liquid is very important in concept in a vapor pressure thermometer. So this is how the vapor pressure thermometer looks like. We will come to the construction part in detail. So the construction and working part, it consists of a large bulb which is filled with a volatile and non-volatile liquid, as you can see in a previous diagram. It consists of a large bulb which consists of volatile and non-volatile liquid, and the capillary tube is connected to the bulb and extended in the form of a coil. The capillary tube, this is the capillary tube which is connected to the bulb, which is extended in the form of a coil. The free end of the coil is connected to the linkage and the pointer to indicate the temperature reading. Now you can see in the figure, the free end of the coil is being connected with the linkage, then to the pointer which moves onto the calibrated scale, which is calibrated in terms of temperature. So this is how the construction part of the vapor filled thermometer looks like. So how exactly the working of the vapor filled thermometer takes place? So as the liquid inside the bulb boils and vaporizes, it creates a gas or vapor inside the capillary or the tube. So when the bulb is dipped into the measuring liquid whose temperature is to be measured, the liquid inside as it contains both volatile and non-volatile liquid, the liquid inside the bulb starts to vaporize and it starts to fill in a capillary tube and also the extended part of the tube in the form of extended part of the tube in the form of a coil. So the liquid inside the bulb continues to boil until the pressure in the system equals the vapor pressure of the boiling. So whatever the liquid which contains in the bulb, which will continue to boil until the pressure in the system, the overall the liquid vapor filled thermometer system equals the vapor pressure of the boiling. So as the temperature of the substance surrounding the bulb decreases, the liquid and the vapor inside the bulb also cools, causing some of the vapor to condense. Due to this changing pressure of the coil, the tube uncoils as the pressure increases and it coils as tightly as the pressure decreases. So the pressure is nothing but the vapor pressure which is building inside the capillary and the extended part of the capillary in the form of a coil. That causes the pressure to increase or decrease, and which in turn uncoils the coil tube and coils the tube tightly as the pressure decreases. This movement of the coil is as it is been connected to the linkage and a pointer to indicate the temperature. So any change in the pressure, whether it is decreased, any change in the pressure in the sense where it is of increase or decrease in the pressure, causes the extended part of the capillary tube, that is in the form of a coil, which uncoils as the pressure increases, and it holds the coil tightly as the pressure decreases. So this movement of the coil is connected to the linkage and the pointer, which moves on the calibrated scale. The pointer moves on the calibrated scale to indicate the temperature of that measuring liquid. So the range of vapor filled thermometer is from minus 185 degree centigrade to 550 degree centigrade. It can measure up to 550 degree centigrade. So what are the advantages of the vapor bulb thermometer? It is similar to the liquid filled thermometer. The bulb is in small bulb size. It is less expensive, and disadvantages is the scale is not linear and it is slow response time. The application is it is being used to measure the temperature in pipelines, boilers, heating systems, in almost all the industrial applications. So let us look into some of the temperature range of the temperature sensors. Till now we have learnt the bimetallic thermometer, mercury in glass thermometer, liquid filled thermometer, and this session we are learning the vapor filled thermometers. And in the further sessions also you'll have the various thermocouples and various very high temperature measuring devices such as the pyrometers, resistance thermometer with a very accurate measurements. So let us have a knowledge of the operating temperature range of these temperature measuring instruments. So the expansion thermometer, the mercury in glass will come under this expansion category, which has a range of measuring minus 35 to 430 degrees centigrade. Then the liquid in glass thermometer has a range from 180 degree to 500 degrees centigrade, and the bimetallic thermometers from 180 to 600 degrees centigrade. Then coming to the pressure liquid filled thermometer, minus 180 to 550, which mainly operates on the pressure developed inside the system. So liquid filled thermometer, that is a vapor pressure thermometer. The pressure thermometers, liquid filled is an operating range from 180 to 550. Vapor filled pressure thermometer, it is 180 to 550. So both are in the same operating range. Then the gas filled will also from 180 to 550 degrees centigrade. Then you have a resistance thermometer. So the metal resistors can measure the temperature from minus 200 to 800 degrees centigrade. Then the thermometers, which is of the platinum, the resistance thermometer, which is made up of the platinum or the nickel or the copper as a material inside, which has a various operating temperature measuring range. That is, if it is containing the platinum, it is minus 180 to 650. Nickel minus 180 to 320, and the copper it is minus 180 to 320. So the thermocouple, the maximum it can measure from up to 1800 degrees centigrade from minus 180 degree centigrade. So you have to have a knowledge of the operating temperature range of various temperature measuring instruments. Just have a look into this and remember. It is very important to remember the operating temperature range of these thermometers. So it will be asked as an objective type questions in your examinations. Mention the operating temperature range of the mercury in glass thermometers or bimetallic thermometers. It could be asked. So it is very important to remember these operating range of thermometers. So by having the knowledge of construction, working, advantages and application of the vapor filled thermometer which we have learnt in this session, let us solve some of the multiple choice questions. So the first question is, which of the following statement is true about the vapor pressure of a liquid? You know what is vapor pressure? I have explained to you in this session. So whether vapor pressure is, which of the following statement is true about vapor pressure of a liquid? For this type of question, you have to read the answer twice or thrice in order to give a correct answer. So the first choice is, the vapor pressure is closely related to molecular activity and the temperature of a liquid. The vapor pressure is closely related to molecular activity but independent of the temperature of the liquid. The vapor pressure is not affected by molecular activity and the temperature of a liquid. The vapor pressure is not affected by the molecular activity and is independent of the temperature of the liquid. So for this type of a question, you have to read the answers twice or thrice, and you have to understand what exactly it is. Are you getting the answer? Are you able to answer? Check the first answer, second answer, third. The answer is, solution is A. The question asked is, which statement is true about the vapor pressure of a liquid? So the answer is, vapor pressure is closely related to molecular activity and the temperature of a liquid. Yes. So how it is how it is being related? So what we know about the vapor pressure? So vapor pressure of a liquid at a given temperature is given by the pressure exerted by the saturated vapor on the liquid surface. So when the vapor is saturated, an equilibrium is existing between the vapor and the liquid phases. So the number of molecules leaving the liquid surface is equal to number of molecules entering the liquid surface. That is related with the molecular activity. This molecular activity takes place because of the temperature of the change in the temperature of a liquid. So that is why the first statement is the correct statement for this question. Now let us go to second question. Which of the following equation correctly depicts the relationship between the vapor pressure of a liquid and its temperature? So it is given as the answers as, the vapor pressure increases linearly with the increase in temperature of a liquid. Vapor pressure increases slightly with the increase in temperature of a liquid at low temperatures. And rate of increase goes high at higher temperatures. Vapor pressure increases rapidly with the increase in temperature of a liquid at low temperature, and the rate of increase goes low at a higher temperatures. Vapor pressure remains unchanged with the increase in the temperature of a liquid. Just analyze the answers according to the question is being asked. Are you getting the answer? The answer is B. Yes, the vapor pressure increases slightly with increase in temperature of a liquid at low temperature, and the rate of increase goes high at a higher temperature, as it is being directly related to, proportional to each other. So the correct answer is the B answer. So which of the vapor pressure thermometer is a secondary element? Whether it is a Bourdon tube, the pointer, none of these, or the bulb. In order to answer this question, you have to have a thorough knowledge of the various elements of an instruments. We have learned in the previous classes the various elements as the primary sensing element, or the primary element, the secondary element, the manipulating element, and data transmission element, and data presenting element. So in connection with this, you have to analyze an instrument and answer this question. Are you getting the answer? Answer is, the Bourdon tube is a secondary element. Operating temperature range of vapor pressure thermometer is dash degree centigrade. So as I've given in the table, the various operating temperature measuring ranges, as I've said, you have to have a thorough knowledge of the operating temperature range of a particular instrument. By knowing that, you could answer this question. The answer is question A, answer A, minus 180 to 550 degree centigrade. So vapor pressure of a thermometer is a dash filled thermometer. This is very easy question. You can answer this. Are you getting? The answer is the vapor filled thermometer. So I hope you are benefited by this session. And the study material is also available for your better understanding. And you can also refer the various linkages which is given in the reference section of this PPT, and also it is been given in the study material of this session also. And you can look into the various videos also connected with this for thorough understanding of the present session. And also you can refer to the process control and instrumentation by R.P. Vyas and the instrumentation and the process control by A.P. Kulkarni and the various linkages. I hope you all benefited by this session. Thank you everyone.